Okay, so new colors, new house. So I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, but it's like lots and lots of scattered things like you're going through the day and different things, different conversations, different things you hear people talk about and stuff like that. Then you know, I register, something, I process it or something, I don't know. And then start a whole bunch of little things. And then plus I am so tired. It is weird because I feel tired, but it doesn't just feel like tired from not getting any sleep and not being able to get comfortable. Um, it feels kind of like the energy. It's like the energy on the planet is draining. And I've had some weird experiences. Like, one thing I've noticed is one thing that keeps people going 100%. Start noticing how much people rely on a distraction of TV or something like that. But they have the big distraction that people really get focused on is drama. And especially if it's, well, if it's in their own family, then they can go straight into some kind of role play. And people got to really realize how, if they're typecasting people in their lives, like, oh, they're let people grow, let people change. Don't hold people in a tight place. That says more about you. And allow people to grow. And if somebody's not growing, the whole thing is so much about our own growth. It's about us and our growth. And I've had so many of these conversations lately, that that I want to talk about them. One thing I want to say too is man, it is so dusty. It's making me like hoarse, and my nose is so stopped up, and everything is so fucking dusty. And whatever this heat wave, like this morning as the sun came up, and I was outside, and I got my phone for a reason. Oh, I did some video. I did something motivated me to do some TikTok. So I sat out there. I did it even before I even looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, fuck it. So I did some TikToks, but when I was, man, I always get lost. When I was doing them, I was outside. I was, oh yeah, so I saw the sun, and it was kind of over this house, and it just hit me, like the weapon and how it's being used. Like, there's a lot of people that are getting killed. I guess there's a lot of deaths in Death Valley. I think the temperature is like 127, but I've heard it's like 120 something in a lot of places. A lot of people are having a problem with heat. I just saw a woman in Florida, and she said she doesn't know what's going on, if it's her, if she knows it's something in the environment. But every time she goes outside and the sun touches her, she's getting these big red blotches on her. It looks kind of like hives or something. And so that is so individual to a person. See, that's how they've been able to trick us all the time. But you just got to start noticing that there's more and more and more of everything, because it's going the other direction. It's releasing this energy that used to hold on to stuff or something. Everything used to be so much more tight and controlled, and everything is going to go into a state of flow, and it's gonna feel so much more better. But see, people can't feel that better until they process to release. Everything is about releasing old stuff, and it is standing out to me so much about stuff going on in people's lives. I'll hear a story, it'll be some crazy ass story. I've got one in my own life right now, and it's like, that is past life shit, man. And and I can't think of what happened in that. So what is it? It's about me learning a lesson. What is my lesson? And oftentimes with the one daughter, it always goes back to, okay, where is she striking me? She's striking me to want to stand up for myself in some way, and she is forcing me to define my boundaries, even to myself. And some of these things, as you're growing and stuff, it starts becoming so defined that you start feeling like it could drive you crazy. Yesterday, I think yesterday and last night, I was like really feeling like, fuck, man. Yeah, damn. It's a good thing this is a step, like, I don't know, maybe some people are sliding into this part, just boom. But, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain. But it's like more people have access to my mind than ever before. And, and it's like highly traffic or something. Like, there was so much, in the one weird experience I had too. So, because I noticed, like, I totally can see about what that one guy Bashar was, how he said it was like these different people in their own, it's like reality bubbles. And as people are waking, as we're all at different developmental stages, and we can witness other things happening, that it is like a witnessing. Like I had said, it's like witnessing this stuff. It's like observing. But they're feeling it. They're experiencing it on another level. And so it is, it like removes you kind of from the thing, but so many people feed off of the drama. And so my things, I'll be questioning, about this reality, and, I'm always trying to put things into understanding or perspective. But there was so much drama going on. I can't even tell you how much stuff was going on. I'm sure with everybody's been having the same thing in their lives, but mine had so much stuff going on. And it is so crazy too. So I went to my mom's. I did all that worked my fucking ass off, where I can't even believe I could get up each day. And that big fucking cut down my leg, like when I was holding it and I was trying to think, like, well, what do I do? Like, is it just leave it gaping open, like the wind flopping my leg as I'm going through this hairy house to the bathroom, and I, it was just in my head. And it was really hard to walk and hold it. And I don't know. I don't know. Everybody is not paying attention to everybody else, or they are getting stuck. I don't know, what's going on in everybody's state of consciousness. It's very different. Like these robot people, and then you've got every degree in between, to really awake, that is like having crazy experiences. And when I was in the kitchen, she was doing something with the sink, and then like the old-fashioned kind of house where the dining room was kind of like a cutout, and so you have a dining room right next to the kitchen, like in older houses. And so I was kind of standing where I almost felt like I was in a portal, because I was kind of right in that doorway. And I have been really paying attention, like there's a lot of weird shit going on, a lot of weird shit. And so I was standing there, and I kind of like stepped back or leaned back while I was talking or something. And all of a sudden I was like in a different, I don't know how to explain this if you have not experienced it. It is like you're in a different time, space bubble. It's like you go out of one and suddenly you're in another. It's like, whoa, go back to the other. It's like, fuck, that was weird as shit. And like that time when I was driving and I was in with that car, and somehow one of us got in each other's space bubbles, or our bubbles merged or something. Our energetic, I'm talking about space bubble as your energetic force, which they control and tell us, like, you have to drive cars. I just saw a video where it was showing like all these tires burning out in the desert or something, and so much smoke burning black tires is ridiculous. And then the person was talking about, they want to blame it on cow farts. And then there's another German psychopath, kind of creepy guy who was saying, oh, we're not going towards climate change. We're already in it. We're already in it. It's 150 temperatures cooking us and stuff. All this stuff, I don't know how many real moons and suns that are really up there. I think that there's a lot more isolation in our things than we think. I think so much about our reality is what we're told. I've been getting these messages so much lately that it's been kind of like tripping me out. But I've been spending so much time working. And that's why I say, if you are... I was just explaining this to my daughter, because she's always been in a gym. Like, she would always go jog. Like, she didn't just go jog. No, she went and ran. She'd go run to clear her mind. And I would always be like, that is just not good for your body. I don't know if that is good for her. And she would say, well, it clears my mind. It clears my mind. And so I was like, okay, well, to each his own. And so it's just like, I got to let her do her thing or whatever. So anyways, when I got over here to their house, I went and did all that work at my mom's. It was kicking my fucking ass. And then I get over here and they're in the middle of these huge projects. And so then I had to go in and it was just like hard fucking work again. Hard. And sweating, it's so dusty. And sweat and just caked. Or I just had dirt all over my face. Oh my gosh. And so I was like, man, well, for one thing, it gives you so much time to think when you start doing that stuff. Oh yeah, because I was telling my daughter, because the first day when she was out there helping us, and her girlfriend, she is been doing more of the yard work, and they've been doing this whole transition thing to the yard. And I think my daughter gets involved too, but not to the same, compelling degree. Like when you're in the middle of it and it's hard to stop. Stella, please let me finish this. Oh, she was laying there snoozing away. I had her music on, and then I moved this a little bit, and I hit into her legs, and now I'm sorry. Just lay there, okay? You're okay. Let me finish what I'm doing. Oh, fuck, I'm tired. So, anyways, the second, when she came out there today, she was like, oh my God, how are you guys even moving? And, I was just like, both of us were just like, I don't want you to just get up and do it. Your body does hurt. All the things you're saying is true. And but all of her going to the gym and all that stuff. So I said, see, it's different. Going to the gym is very different than actually doing work. I used to go to the gym all the fucking time. When you get put into a position where you're actually having to take care of yourself and work and do work in your yard, do work to take care of yourself, grow your own food, whatever the case may be, it is a lot more. It's different muscles. It's not like ones that you just go and dance around. And so you use totally different ones, and it like the muscles that she needs, she hasn't built up. She's built up these fake ones. And I was just like, man, what it was putting into my perspective of like this whole world of how the fakeness. Even going to the gym, we think we're doing so good. Oh, we're working out. And until you go out and do work, go try and build something. Like, you work out all day long, but go then try and build something and hold something up over your head. Please let me do this, okay? She's so dramatic. She has such a hard time. Everywhere we go, there's cats. She gets yelled at all the time, and she's such a good girl. She's just slobbery and messy. And everybody says she stinks. I don't think she stinks, but whatever. Everybody has their own thing. I don't think she smells that bad. But she gives me, like, she's my companion. That's what I have to say about it. And what is it, lady? You get so stressed about stuff. Just relax. Let me finish what I'm doing. Oh. And her tongue keeps getting so warm and she's always got to give me kisses. I don't know, she's worried I'm going to leave her somewhere or what. But, let me get back to what I was talking about. So, it's different muscles, the fake, people go into. But that's the same thing with organic, natural, all that stuff is coming out. That's all pretend. It's all owned by the same poison distributing companies that are, poison. She's trying to get on the couch. Oh, I think she's just really sore. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got her something to lay on. But I don't want to stop now, 15 minutes in. Maybe I'll do a short one, then I'll come back and do another one. Because maybe that's why she's crying. She's probably really sore. Because they made a little bed thing for me. It's just like a little topper thing. And she was like, oh, hell no. You're obviously, like, she climbed right up on it with me. It's like the size of a sleeping bag. And we're sharing it. And so, anyways, I know she's uncomfortable, so I'll go out there in a minute. I'll finish doing this one and talk about this stuff. Then there's more stuff I can talk about too, but, I feel bad that she's so uncomfortable. It's hard for me to concentrate then. I'll go get your bed out in a minute, okay? I'll go get your bed. Just relax. Oh, yeah. And yesterday I looked in the mirror. I was doing something in this mirror. I don't remember what I was doing. And I swear to God, I thought my eyes were blinking like a lizard. It freaked me the fuck out. And I was like, oh, my God, what in the hell? But everything is an illusion. Oh, yeah, with my cuts on my legs. So the cut thing, while I was holding it, I don't know if I can't remember because it was more than one thing going on in my mind. I had a lot of things. I was thinking about a lot of different things. And so I was holding it and I keep thinking, was I healing it? Because when it happened, it was like, it just completely opened up. By the time I got up to the bathroom to clean it, it already had changed significantly, and every single day it has changed so fast. I can't even believe it. And I couldn't put any tape or anything on it. I put I couldn't find her stuff, and I found like one of those nose breathes or whatever. I put that over on it, and by the time that fell off, it was already too healed to even put anything else on it. And the other one is almost completely gone. Like all these injuries I keep getting, and I know it has to do with really getting into the idea that you're a hologram, that you're not flesh and blood. And I have had so many things over the past couple days where they have been showing me to get into that mind of, not being flesh and blood, like all this heaviness and density that they trap our minds into. By, flesh and blood and death and then, the whole thing about putting on the news, because they fucking know everybody's here having these weird play out soul lessons, I can't imagine, that they don't understand that aspect of life, and then they want to traumatize us with everybody else's story, putting them on the news and stuff. When, God damn, there's a lot of crazy stories going on. Like I had said before, there's going to be so many people who are going to be playing out such crazy fucking stories. Because it's these long soul things. And I don't know, like when you hear some of these, it's like, ugh, I don't know how this ended. Like, did they finish? Did they just dragging this out more? Or did they not complete what they came to do? Or is that how it was supposed to end? Like, you don't know. And you don't have the whole story. Like the hands of a clock that goes and hits each time. Or like the different stories, but they're all interlinked because they all tell the same thing. But it's the story of you. And one thing too, as I really realized yesterday, is like if somebody can't accept me for being me, I'm putting me first. I'm putting me first. And if I'm too much for somebody, then I'm putting me first. You know, I'm not gonna be pushing myself on anybody or forcing on, like, I'm not there in my life. I don't need to try and and I don't need to change myself to be, to try and make other people happy or please them. I'm in a place in my life where I'm at peace even when I'm by myself. I just like, I feel like I'm such a good place in my life. And there's so many things that just don't matter. And one thing too is what I realized is, like when I kept saying, God, I gotta get out of here, I want to go help people and all that stuff. I don't know, you'd have to think back on some videos before summertime. I would say probably maybe even in February, I don't know, because I have no grasp of time. But you got to think about it. Time is what is ending, because time doesn't exist. Time is also like flesh and blood. It's like a trap. It's like part of the thing to keep us bound to their presentation of reality. And so that's, God let go of all those things, but it is all the same like trappings. But it is all the souls come here to play out these different stories. They don't come here like, oh, well, I've got nothing to do, so I'm just going to go get born somewhere and then just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. No, that's not what goes on. And, I know a lot of people are new to learning about stuff, and they think so many things sound weird and crazy and stuff. But you got to just start looking into shit. Start like researching. Do your own, it's your path to yourself. So find what interests you and then start looking into it. But you got to go towards supernatural, metaphysical, and stuff like that. But, I know past lives is, I couldn't. When I started, because coming, as a kid, being raised, like going to church and having God, Satan stuffed down my fucking throat. And then, go in and say, no, that doesn't feel right to me. That's not my truth. And going towards my own truth. And now, so many people's stuff is so controlled. Like they haven't broke free from that stuff. And spirituality has been so like misrepresented, or right now it's being misrepresented, because if they push people towards religion, they've still got people under their control, because those people, like my mom, a part of them is so much like they can't forgive themselves and they need Jesus to forgive them. Like my mom said, I think this is what got the whole thing started the other day, is because she said, so you don't think you think you're the only person in the world who doesn't sin? What was it? Was that it? Or was, you think everyone's a sinner but you? Something like that. It was very strange. And I was like, no, that's not at all what I think. And so she, I don't remember how it went, but it was so strange. But in these talks, I just get out of it, like I see how many people are out there in pain. They don't know how to heal and release shit. And they are completely trapped in their own mind and circumstance. And they're trapped in, people imprison themselves. But they're trapped in the prison of their own making, because for fuck's sake, I cannot believe how much I am just having the weirdest shit go on. Like shit just gets weirder and weirder. It's like so much. The more you let go of that reality, the more you're going to be caught up in like, I can only say it's like being in a dream. But it's weird how I was sitting there saying I wanted to get out of my house, I wanted to go help people, I wanted to be in service, that's important. And then I'm going out and doing that. And you don't get stuff back. You really are in service. You're really there for other people. And but you'll have voices in your head, and they'll mess with you. They'll like, all this stuff is all about learning and healing all the time. And when you're having those things and having those introspective moments, don't listen to those voices that try and tell you negative shit. because they like to feed off drama. They like to feed off tension. They like to feed off of that kind of energy when you put it out. So they will say things to create those feelings in you. And you give them an opportunity when you focus on a situation or circumstance or whatever. And so I was... I'll be out there doing this stuff. And then, especially like my mom, kind of, oh, what could you do this? What about this? And all that. It starts being, it's like, well, my God, is it never enough? Can you just say thank you? Like you start getting these things inside of you. And it's like, that's not what I'm doing it for. So back off, bitch. It's like, I'm truly trying to do something that helps me. I'm not trying to get something out of it. And, and I know everybody has their own perception and their own learning on everything that goes on. And sometimes, you won't get what you are hoping for. You want somebody to drop to their knees. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Like you're the best thing that ever happened in the whole wide world. And I know that it is big in people's hearts. And the best thing is when you know that you're a part of the energy, when they can just sit back and relax and just feel that peace over, having their projects done and stuff like that. And it is, it's like the greatest gift you can give somebody is your time. Your time and your energy. And they have been stealing it from us and distorting our view of it for so long. And that's why the money has to collapse, is because of what people have come to get it, when it is just as fake as flesh and blood, and the illusion you can die, and that money matters. It has no fucking substance at all. It's not even gold. It's not silver. It's not copper. It's not platinum. It's not anything. It's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper that they should have been making out of hemp. Not even cutting down goddamn trees. And it's so crazy too. It's like they're gonna take down this big old fucking tree right here. And it's like this giant, some type of evergreen kind of thing, real fucking dense. And it's like, but it seems like in the 50s or something, like a lot of people put this in their yard. And it's a beast. And if they're gonna take it down, it's gonna really let a lot more sun in here, I'll tell you. But the thing is like when they're doing this stuff, like even pulling out the grass and all this stuff, it is, like it isn't like the murdering or something. It is like this. I feel like this energy or something. Like it's not respecting this other energy or something. Like I don't know how to explain it. But like this tree, like I feel like I feel for the tree, like I'm out there sitting there, I'm telling it, you're beautiful. It's just your time's up. I feel the rest of the universe. I feel everything else's energy, where other people are just buzzing by it as fast as they can. But once you start slowing down and stuff, like I'm telling you, everything becomes like a dream. You start feeling things, and you start having like crazy visions and experiences, and like people coming in, and I don't even remember. It was like some woman, and it was like she came right in. It was weird because when your sight and your mind can be the same, like as being when you're looking out of your eyes, it's like the same. It's like the same. It's like the same. So somebody, and this is how I said how, like in that one show, I don't remember what it was called. It was talked about a long time ago. How they would, but they do it all the time in movies. They show how demons or monster or whatever the fuck, that how they will get your mind to see something different. And that is, the lowest frequency beings can attach to a being that doesn't know what it is. and override it. Like, that's what's going on. Like, you got highly conscious beings that don't know or can't remember who they are, and you've got these really low conscious beings feeding off of them, and the ones are like battery operated for the ones, because they have no idea that they're being directed and led and consumed. It's strange, because like there's like different levels, like there's so many different levels of things going on, you know. And the spiritual side is you know, that's the real part of life. Like, that should have always been life. Like, to have that respect for everything matters, everything is real, everything has purpose, you know. And even if people couldn't come to the understanding of like destiny, even if people just continue to think things happen accidentally, then I guess at least they are taking more mindfulness of where they spend their time, or where they go, and what they do, and who they do it with. But it is still it's important to have the awareness. It's like, it's such a leveling up in the game when you have the awareness of, you know, what you're doing, and it's in a game. The fact that to get into to understand that it's in a game. Like, my daughter is, the reason at the time is that they had to go to a funeral, which I'm sure lots of people are having funerals, and, you know, lots of people are passing. And so they were going to a funeral, and so she said, my daughter said, what do you think about with suicide? And I said, I think as soon as the soul gets over there and realizes, then they always kick themselves, like, God, cannot believe I gave up. I can't believe I forgot. I can't believe, you know, because I think that is what the soul's battle is remembering itself. It's learning and growing. But I know that a big part of the lessons and the games that we've been playing before, we needed to not know, so that it made the game impact us in a higher degree. So we really got our lessons really like mattered. You know, they really had an impact on us. And always remember to, let's define judgment a little bit more. Because for sure, I've had more things about this now, but it is, you know, if you find yourself judging somebody, like what you think you're judging somebody, the problem it becomes is when you decide they're a bad person for what they're doing. When you're just judging it, when you're just like, you know, noticing it, and you're trying to put it into perspective. You're trying to come to terms with how you fall in line with the thing. The where it crosses over is where you think it defines the person. Think of it as the lesson, and just look at it through what you're learning, and not through this being anything about the person. And take the lesson. So the judgment, you need to use your powers of discernment and learning and understanding to use different examples of people's realities, so that you can learn from other people's mistakes. But you don't want to get into a pattern of deciding that people aren't good, or they're deserving or not deserving. That's when things get out, like where ego becomes inflated. If you get into a position where you're always looking for everybody else's problems, so oh well, look at them, oh look at them, you know, instead of going, oh yes, did you hear what happened to Sue? Oh yes, yeah. Oh man, what a good lesson. I'm never going to do that again. Or, you know, I will be careful when that happens. You know, you can learn when you witness, but so many people don't witness. So many people stay in drama and judgment. Victim mentality is so huge. You know, where people need to be the victim. They need. And it's sad, because it's not really like that they need to be the victim. It is more that they have never felt like anybody cared about them. Like that they've never had real concern or real caring. And so they're desperate to get it. And a lot of people like will manipulate to get it in patterns that other people may not recognize, but like family members will or something, like, something good happens for, Beth. So automatically, Joe, he falls down and gets hurt. And, there's always but people don't recognize their own patterns. But that's the best part about becoming more aware of what you do. I'm so fucking sore, I can't tell you. But being more aware of yourself can help break patterns. And really keep in mind, and you can't say this to people in the in another bubble of reality, because they don't understand what you're saying. But keep in mind that old people were never taught to heal. They don't understand a lot of the stuff. And it's sad because they've gone through their lives feeling rejected, feeling like they were never good enough. Whatever they did was never good enough. And then they had kids, felt like a failure so many times. That just brings out their anger, their control issues, all the things, that they need to work on. And they don't know how to work on it. They don't know how to direct their energy. They don't know how to sit with themselves. They don't know how to process and grow. It's challenging, and usually you have to have someone in your life who you have seen do it, conquer it, be able to see like, oh my gosh, so you started having things go better, because people don't realize how they sabotage themselves all the time. Like, man, I can't tell you how much they've been showing me this lately about how people seriously make the things happen that people think things are happening that are just, it's so random, and it's not. You are directing the energy all the time. You are directing it so you can learn from it. That's the thing, is and it's such a natural occurrence. It's not like you have to do something. You don't have to become a hyper aware. You have to become like more into the now moment of just appreciating and having gratitude for the now moment, so that you are in the experience. And then when the experience occurs, that you can participate on a level that you can expand your understanding of yourself. And so if people could get into that groove of always being able to go deeper into themselves and doing little projects like that, not only does it make your body stronger in a way that you cannot find in the gym, but it makes your mind stronger, because you spend so much time in a state of mindfulness, a state of like, it's like going into meditation, I think, for some people. And so I think to do those things, and I really, really think like this acts of service thing, like I really think that we need to really start, building our own communities, our own, and I'm not saying like, okay, we all need to go meet up out of the hill. No, I'm talking about finding people you connect with. No matter where you are, finding people you connect with, and then just build a support system where you guys are there for one another. And that's building a community, and things are going to be shifting into that. It's going to, keep shifting. It's going to be a lot more stumbly. Like the first people who ever learned the foxtrot or something, like the first people who ever did, like it would be more stumbling. Then, people really ironed it down and, could do it in a better way. And so it isn't that it is, because everything is a development, everything is an expansion, everything is growing and learning and for understanding and stuff. It's all about this expansion. And so, everybody takes things too serious to start to understand, like, if you take things too serious, you're too caught up in the game. Just like when you're playing Monopoly with somebody who starts losing their damn mind, it is they get too caught up in the game. And so there is, or the game a lot, any game. I'm sure there's tons of games where, people just get really serious. They get too caught up in the game. Oh yeah, and I just saw this fashion show, and it was just so weird. So weird, and it was so S&M trendy, weird, androgyny. It was like clothing for well, definitely it was sexual, because some of the clothes were like, oh my god, like just a piece of tape going across their nipples, one piece of tape going down and then going around like a giant G-string. They cover the nipples. I don't even know how this person has the smaller nipples. Maybe they probably put makeup on them or something. But it was like dark times, like Blade Runner or something, like where the world has gone into a dark place and all that. It's like the fashion industry is all a part of it. They're a part of the whole movement. They are a close branch to the whole thing. I mean, they're so a big part of trafficking and all that shit. Finding the pawns. Like, look at all the young girls they pull in. Get them younger and younger. Oh no, yeah, you gotta be like 12 years old if you want to be on the cover of Vogue. It's like they would just go younger and younger and younger. I remember when supermodels were so popular. And by the time they were 26, they had to be in another career. They couldn't be doing it. It was usually, they said, like, by the time you were 22 or 24, you weren't getting called anymore. All they wanted was these, like, prepubescent bodies. And everybody had to look super young and stuff. And so they were already setting the tone. And I am fortunate that I got to live so much time and see, I've seen these things change. I've seen these things occur. Everything used to be made in the USA. And, people used to be in close communities. And all the industry and stuff used to be here. We used to, be able to buy quality things. And it was the people too who, all those mom and pop shops who wanted to sell out to get the big bucks, and it took our country, it wasn't just the peddlers, there was the buyers. And so the people who had their little places, and then they had it's like the same as the lobbyists, really, They were going down, they were going into Appalachia, or all these little places in Detroit, in the mining towns. Like, I remember all this stuff being on the news. And the farmers, everything that was totally under attack. They were in all these mom and pop places, were all being bought out by corporations, and it just like, it seemed like it just switched so fast. But it's like the repercussions didn't catch up as fast as everything switched. And now it's, the repercussions were there, but it was like nobody was paying attention. But now they're so obvious, there's so much that you can't miss it. And it was all, progress was taken as straight into a brick wall. It was not progress at all. I don't remember if I finished saying about my hair, because now I have rinsed my hair with just water a whole bunch of times, and I like it so much better. Oh my gosh, it is. I feel so much better. It is. I like the texture. I like the body. I like everything about it. So I'm just gonna keep doing the water for a while, but I do have my essential oils and stuff, like. And I think make sure, if you're gonna do something like that, like I have cloves, cinnamon's good for your hair, cloves good for your hair, a bunch of different essential oils. But I think you make sure you want to put like tea tree and stuff. Just, make sure that bugs that don't get on you or something. But I don't know. I had heard that they like cleaner hair. But I don't know. They always are on those people who never, but it could be more than that, It could be more than just, it could be how the people live, you know. That is the thing. Not just that the people are dirty on their hair or something. But I don't know. Because their hair will look different too. Like their hair will look super greasy. But, that could also be, well, if you're super poor and you got tons and tons of lice and you're super greasy, you probably have a bad diet. I don't know. I think a lot of the things work together. I don't think it's all just one thing. I think it's several things. Just like the woman getting the rashes in Florida. It could be like, it could be her menopause medicine also mixed with what they sprayed last week in her neighborhood, also mixed with what she ate and what's coming in her water. Like there's all these different things, and it's your body's reaction. And the sun is a weapon. And they are putting some kind of thing over. But I think it's going to be revealed. Like there's a sun up there. I think that they are just doing something with, I don't know, CGI. And I to me, it has to be some sort of lens, just like a magnifying lens, so that they shine some lens and it magnifies it so that it is burns us and burns things up and stuff. Because, they're trying to cause a heat wave. They're putting out all these fire warnings and stuff because they want to burn everything down. They want to drown us, burn us down. It's so strange. Why don't you just let us, make our way through this cataclysm ourselves? It's coming up. In those movies, all these End of the World movies, I didn't even know. Like how many of them said September 23rd, something big is going to happen. And so we're really close to September 23rd. And, but I don't know if it was in 1923. I don't know. The video that I saw was just showing all these different movies saying September 23rd was going to be, all different things. It was going to be something that was going to change humanity or something. Maybe that is going to be when stuff goes down. When I was talking to my daughter, one of the things that happened is somebody got arrested. Both of my grandkids, the daughters aren't with the people anymore, but it's still my grandkids' dads. And so both of them are doing just really, really bad. Like drugs are bad. But people have to save themselves. And you've got to remember, it is the game. Like, this isn't real. This is their challenges. And then when they get to the other side, everybody has to face themselves. And so, and when anything happens, any of the bad stuff happens with people, we got to remember that the people it affects, it's part of their story, it's part of their storyline, it's part of their growing. It's not just like this horrible, tragic thing happened, these poor people and stuff. No, they all planned this. They came in because the lessons were going to impact them in the way that they wanted to. Put things in balance, teach them, but, it's all different things. There's like a lot going on all the time. Just like, if I went out and took fucking a 6x6 area of ground, just think about how many things are going on, how many bugs, how many worms, how many things are growing, like all that stuff. It's the same thing through everything. Everything has got a lot going on. And so, we are, like, the soul is kind of chaotic. Like, as I'm becoming into myself, the chaos that is going on inside of my mind is crazy. Like the things that are so much happening and shifting and being over here and then being there, like my body's healing like a fucking robot and coming to all of these understandings and stuff. This really is us coming into this understanding that we are just the same as superheroes. We are all those things that they would put in the movies, taunting us. Oh, aren't these cool? That's what we were. And then they were tricking us so that we didn't know by telling us that we were flesh and blood and we could die and we better get to work and appreciate what they do for us and, live these shallow, artificial lives chasing something that isn't real. But each person inside themselves had to have that real part to remind them. And if they didn't, it's not part of their storyline. There's a lot of people who, like, if you go and read those books, like near-death experiences, NDEs, and you go read a bunch of different people's stories and stuff, you'll see, like, those things happen to impact the people because it impacts their growth. It reminds them. It's like they're pulled out of their body into that other space because it is probably an inner turmoil or something, and they have to be reminded. It is like lucky for them. Like, I've had lots of experiences that I feel like super fortunate because it's kept me completely, where people say grounded, but the grounded into this 3D world isn't, I think of being grounded into who I am, grounded into my inner self. That is who I want to be grounded into. Like, I want to ground, or whatever, my electromagnet plug into the earth, but I want to ground into myself. I want to be more of me. I want to find more of me. I want to understand more about me. I want to get into the place like how I've been over these last, couple of weeks. It feels like just being more in the moment and being really, in everything that happens that comes up where, I can recognize this could go this way or this way, all these different ways, but really taking control of which way it should go. And when I can get myself into an understanding where it's like, where it's about me learning about my growth. And so everything that happens, what can I learn? What can I grow? What can I change? How can I become better? Because that is what everything that affects you is for. It isn't so you can fix somebody else. It isn't so, those things all happen naturally. It's nothing that we do. It's nothing that we force on people. Everything that matters just happens. And it's like, I say this all the time and stuff. And whenever people are saying like, oh, well, about dating or whatever, I'm always like, you don't have to go out and date. You don't have to go look for the person. You got to work on yourself, take care of yourself, become your best version of yourself, and that person will find you. They find you. You don't have to go out and like search for them or something. They find you, but you have to do the work on you. You have to figure out who you are and not through anyone else's eyes. You have to get uncomfortable with feeling through yourself. Seeing yourself, and accepting yourself as a weirdo. Like, stop trying to think like you have to be like everybody else. Stop trying to think that you have to be perfect. Stop trying to think you have to please others to have value. You have value for the very fact you are alive, that you are a living being. But you have to learn to value yourself. So many people can give value to others, but they can't give any value to themselves. And so that is what the lessons are about, is figuring out how to value yourself. And, so many people, are there to teach you about boundaries, how to have boundaries, because boundaries are a very big part of defining who you are, because everybody else will push and take and pull from you until you can say, this is what I'm comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with that, I'm sorry. That's your comfort zone. I have my comfort zone. You don't have to constantly be trying to make other people comfortable. It's up to that individual needs to grow in themselves. And we gotta give people space to grow. We gotta quit thinking like we need to rescue this person, run in and do this, and make things better for that person. No. And a lot of times the experiences that kids are going through, don't just think of them as being kids. Think of it as being a soul in a game that it wants to go through this situation because they're going to grow from it. Don't get caught up in thinking like, oh, they're a little kid and they're a victim. They don't remember, most likely, most people don't remember, so they'll feel like a victim, but their soul, to me, so many people are just cut off from their souls. And so that is like, to me, it is like everybody's soul awakening to them. It's like just plugging themselves into themselves. And so that to me is this process of awakening. It's like a shift in your mind, is shifting your reality, is shifting your understanding of what existence is, and to really get in mind that this, like, we're in this game, like this is the Truman Show, this is the Sims, all this stuff does not matter. None of this stuff matters. And people think that, where they live and what kind of house and stuff like that. And people in other countries, I can see why, they are just, Americans think you need so much to be happy, and most Americans are miserable because they're stressed out, they work too hard, and plus now they're going through crises like, why do I even have to work? And well, you don't. You just have to know your rights. So you have rights to your own piece of property. You got to build a community so you have people to rely on, and then start growing your own food. All the rest of it is just trappings to get you to come in and to keep them rich, keep their businesses going. You don't need any of this shit. And it's so much where people think like they need so much. And I've had so many strange interactions lately, just being out traveling and stuff, and you just have interactions with people, and there's lots and lots of strange interactions. I just was totally like, oh my gosh, this is like these bubbles of reality. It was like, man, it's so strange. And the communication barriers, and it's, I don't know if it's gonna just keep going like this and become more and more obvious, or if it's going to just kind of give out, and that's when it kind of flips it to the other direction. I mean, I saw they're closing in on Joe. Hunter's just having a bad old day. Just all the things. So everything is collapsing, because that's the end of time. Time is their control mechanism. Time is their creation. So yeah, it's the end of time. And it was a total trap. And it is the end of this, this reality, this way of life, this way they created for us to exist. That's the end of it. So yeah, it is an Armageddon of sorts, but it's not the end of us. We well, depending on everybody's level, because to me right now, it seems like, I've got this robot shit going on. So I swear to God, I'm really feeling like there's going to be people who are going to stand up, who are in a car wreck, who are going to be standing there with a gash in their head, and it's just going to close. They're going to be like, whoa, that was a little, I swear, people are going to start really, we're going to be more of in a cartoon than like some weird movie. Like, They put us in a whole bunch of different weird movies, but it's almost like we're gonna go into a cartoon. Like I had said before, like the the roadkill will go down and just get up. So I think we're gonna go kind of more into that. To me, it's like a dream. Like we're just bouncing from dream to dream to dream to dream to dream. And it is so weird when you have this certain awareness and you see how people connect their time and stuff. Like it is, man, it's just, you won't even understand at all what I'm saying unless you just understand it. And you can understand that maybe on different levels, but the way I mean it, I don't think very many people will really get like what I'm saying. And that is hard, kind of, like I definitely, I'm definitely a misunderstood. I'll tell you that. Like, people do not understand me, and it's just like, I'm just fine. It's fine. I'm like, I've been an outcast kind of person for so long. And now, though, I know that, there's a lot of us. And now I know, we're being an outcast is a good thing. I'm not sad about it. Makes me feel better. I'm glad I wasn't so in the trappings of this weird, creepy world. This place has got some people trapped. It's got people confused. And, I don't know. But I do know everybody's got to figure it out for themselves. You've got to find yourself. This is the journey to you, the journey to self. And, and I mean, how big is yourself? How expansive are you? Like, apparently, I feel like I'm pretty expansive. I feel like I'm a whole fucking universe. I'm like, I can't believe the weird stuff that I keep having go on and the weird experiences I keep having. And, and it's all, to me, it's all just about letting go of everything that you thought was real and just letting it be. And everything just kind of becomes more magical or something. I don't know. It's weird. But things just seem to get weirder and weirder, like all the time. So, anyways, I don't know. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to be able to record for a couple days, probably. And then, once I get home, though, I'll record. And then I'll have a couple days to record. And then when I go camping, that's going to be pretty quick. I can do some videos while I'm out there, but they won't go on. There's no service out there. Oh yeah, I saw this one video too. It was all these news things put together about these young hikers falling to their death. And it seemed like they were saying Zion Park or something a lot of times, or Yellowstone or something. But it's kind of like, are these people really dying? And what in the fuck is going on? Like, it was weird when you saw all these different news stations saying this, and it was all different people. I was like, this place is so weird. So weird, because I know, in our idea of what things are, I think that we are already traveling in different planets, just going to see some different relatives and stuff. Like, when you're traveling a ways. Oh, yeah. And I saw where they were saying it is going to be like we're going into is it called transportation? That kind of travel, like on Star Trek. Like when you go into the little thing and it just like puts you into another little thing or something. Like, I don't know how it works. Like, I guess they would figure it out. That's probably how they captured consciousness. Because you got to go into just your conscious state. You're not really, none of this is real. I mean, it's real to look at. Like, it's so that we can have something to look at, but it's not real. And it's kind of like letting go of the illusion for a second and then popping back into the illusion a second later, like going through portals. I don't know. I think this is going to be interesting. We've got a lot to learn. But, biggest thing that we got to work on right now is letting go. And letting go of this reality. And letting go of who you thought you were and trying to figure out who you are now. And look into more things, if it's metaphysical, supernatural, near-death experiences, reincarnation. Gaia channel has so much information. I think it's important to really work on your communication with your guidance. If you've got a lot of brain fog, a lot of stuff going on in there that you need to mind the mind. Clean it up, start gaining control, start practicing, like going to the gym or something. There's a lot of different, and these are all books I'm sure you can go find in like metaphysical or quantum or science. I don't know about in science areas, I don't know, but you would be able to find ways to practice using your consciousness. Like, there's a thing about, getting into your mind, find a place in the room and start focusing on that place, and then start putting your consciousness in that place and start seeing the room from that viewpoint. Like there's all different things you can do. I'm just reading the CIA files. They've been, that's how we know all these things that we can do. It's going to come from the CIA files because they've been studying us and right under our noses and withholding all of our abilities. So anyways, this is your time to shine. This is your time to expand, to find yourself, to see yourself for all you are, not for the limitations that they've tried to box you in with. You're so much more. That whole thing about when that guy was sitting there saying about, why do they call us human beings? And, we don't call them dog beings, deer beings, and all that stuff. So why are we just not humans? And I think that they had to put in the human so we wouldn't know we were eternal, because that's what we really are. We're eternal beings. We're beings of existence that are eternal, whatever that means to you. A being of light, an angel, whatever that means to you. You are an eternal being. You are eternal energy. You have conscious energy. You reincarnate. You go into lessons, you play games, you are always growing and searching for the truth. It is, some people aren't searching for the truth. But anyways, that's the mind trap, that's the trappings. You start chasing your tail and then they start wagging it and you just are along for the ride. So, but, it's not anything to feel bad about or shame or anything like that. It's just about you discovering you, and maybe the whole thing is just noticing that, and if you want to change it, then change it. It's everything is about you figuring out who you are. And most people have spent their whole life trying to please people and not, just like these old people who now they've spent all their lives feeling rejected by their parents. Then they weren't good enough for their own kids. They feel shame and humility for stupid mistakes they've made through their life. And they've got so much resentment and hate towards each other or themselves. And that's why they age so bad. And they are so sickly and stuff. And if they were being taught properly, that would age them backwards right away, just because of letting go of things, because people age themselves. And it's so strange, but it's like a part of it. That's why it happens. It's like a part of it, but it's part of the lessons. It's part of the learning, kind of, you know what I mean? So anyways, the spiritual thing isn't just like, whatever all their marketing for spiritual stuff is now. It is just the road to you. it's figuring out who you are, what you're doing here. Figure out why am I here, and then start going towards it. Go towards why you feel you're here. Maybe it's something you're good at. Maybe it's something that you feel like you can help other people. But go towards that energy. Don't keep, stressing over them destroying their own world. It's their world. Let them destroy it. And then as soon as they're out of the way, then we're going to make a way better one. We're going to do a way better than they could. So, anyways, but it is sad. It's sad too. There's a lot of sad stuff. Lots of sad stuff. A lot of sad storylines playing out. A lot of dramas. A lot of tragedies. But when I got here, my daughter was just like, oh my God. I've had like 37 domestic violence situations or something, like 37 calls, and maybe it was 10 or 12 domestic violence, whatever it is. And I'm always like, I told you this was coming. It's going to get worse because it's going to start being like those mass, I'm going to take out this person, this person, this person. A lot of people are going to start. Some of them will probably do it because they think they're doing something good. But, everybody gets the lessons don't just end here. The lessons go on and on and on. And so, I can't fucking say why somebody does something or if it's good or bad. I just can say that there is way more to the story than what people give it credit for. What people understand what life is. Life is so much more complex, and it's so much less of a hardship than people take it on as. People fight it, and people stress about it, and it's not as serious as what they make it out to be. It's all just opportunities to learn and to grow and to spend time with people you love, to experience life, it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be good. So enjoy it. Don't be so sad about it. And, even when the people are passing, just remember to keep having more gratitude for the moments you have. The moments you have to create whatever you want in your life. Who you want to be around, what you want to be doing. It's your opportunity to create that every moment you have. And, but also keep in mind that all the game is shifting. And you have way more control over your avatar, over your existence than you've ever known you have. So, go dive into that to really try to understand your body, your healing, your mind control, what your consciousness can do, how you can heal yourself, all of those things. And really just focus on getting to know, the vessel, getting to become acclimated, like a part of it, tuning into it, listening to it, working it some, and giving it movement and your energy. There's a whole thing with the energy and movement. Like there's so many things to develop in yourself. One lifetime isn't enough. And we've foolishly wasted so much time chasing other people's dreams. And, now it's time to really put your time into you, and it isn't just all about the challenges. It's about going out and enjoying things and having fun and creating experiences, creating memories. And always remember, when you're putting energy out, when you're giving, you don't have to ever have anything given back, because the universe will always give back. The universe always pulls it back into balance. So you don't have to expect somebody else to do it. The balancing system is automatically. So, you can go run around doing things, painting people's houses for free every day, like these people next door who keep being like they're just right up in the business, boy, I'll tell you. And they're old, and I think they're kind of like got some dementia going, and their house is getting dilapidated, like all the paint's off and stuff like that. It's like, people like that, they need help. They need somebody to, step in. We need more community service people, who want to go out and help an old person get their house in order, so we can keep old people living, even if they die in their own home. Well, fuck yeah, let me die in my own home. I'd much rather die in my own home than in some stinky ass nursing home. Like, yeah, it's a government institution. People should be able to live in their homes until they pass, and we should all as a community have respect and helping people be able to do that. So people go and start putting that energy out into communities, and they so you just really love where you live, and you just really you want to go out and be a part of that, and going out and helping develop, bringing people together, and doing causes, helping people, especially old people, like, because they can't do a lot of stuff. They've got long-term poisoning, and a lot of them are kind of losing their facilities and stuff, and but they shouldn't have to be like die without dignity or something. We should as a community know what's important, and we would want to offer what we would want someone to give us. And so to just be more mindful and helping, what services like that, and even if you're not getting anything back, like but a plate of cookies, then remember, the universe is going to reward you. The universe will put things in balance. So the energy that you put out to help others, you will get it back, and that is that tenfold. The things you put out, we'll see, because I've been going busily working, helping people, and helping people it's no benefit to me. A lot of people won't do something that doesn't benefit them. It's, I don't, feeling good that I've helped somebody, feeling good getting all the exercise, those things, but like in the sense of benefiting somebody, how people determine, and benefiting them is usually something a lot more like, well, what do I get out of it? And it's like, nothing. Well, I've got other things to do. So, I have been honestly giving of my time and what I have to offer, for others. And that is the kind of stuff, we'll see how it goes, but that is how I understand it to be. And it's interesting because it is like an adventure, it is like go and put your stuff out there, and then see what happens. I don't know, I wasn't doing it for that, but that was something that today was coming into my head so loud and clear, and a bunch of different things, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because there were so many people saying I want to go out and be in service of others, and people saying about where to direct your energy through these changes. I was like, oh, so that is like anything that you're doing things for other people, see, the universe can pay you back. When you are giving of yourself freely out of pure love, then the universe will give back, like a reward system is what we would take it as, because it's just going to be like good things will come, good things will happen, good things will go. So anyways, we'll see. Let's see what good thing happens. So anyways, but I probably won't. Tomorrow's going to be hectic because tomorrow's going to go float on the river. Tonight we're going to go see a comedy show. And then tomorrow we're going to go float on the river. And then I'm going to go and drive. And then I'm just going to go sleep. And then I'm going to get home. So, but by the time I get home, I don't know. I could get in and, be all unpacked and cleaned up and everything and feel all refreshed. And then I'll record. But otherwise, I will in the morning. Because if I get there and I'm just like dead ass tired, like my eyes have just been, I haven't been getting any sleep. No sleep at all. And that is another thing, is that in that time, in the time where I'm like trying to sleep or something, like in this other state of consciousness, The weird shit, like really weird shit keeps happening. So fucking weird. Like I don't even know. It just seems like it's one experience after another. So I don't know. Maybe I'll remember more of them when I get home. And I still have the freaking drive with all these robot people to get home. And I still don't know. Like even this morning when I went out there and I was sitting, it was like this loud sound. It was so fucking weird. It was so quiet outside. And then it was like, oh my God, it sounds like the most hugest plane. And it wasn't getting closer or anything. And I was like, what in the hell? It's like, it sounds like somebody just cranked on a giant generator to run this town. And then other things all of a sudden started. Like they just cranked on the generator to start this town. And then all of a sudden other things started making noises and stuff. And then it was just like this purr, this loud purr that just keeps being outside. I was like, this fucking place, I swear to God, we're on fucking generators. It's falling apart. It's falling apart. I think that they've got all these goddamn cities on generators. This was really funny too, because when I was leaving Yakima, or when I was at Yakima before I got here, then still always wants to go for a walk, and there's this street that is like by her apartments, and so as we're walking up there, there's something all over the street, and I was like, weird, I wonder what that is. And so I got up there, and it was so fucking Truman Show. I couldn't believe it. I was like, a fucking camera, like I can't even tell you. I don't even know what the fuck it was. And it was all in these pieces, like it was broke. Like you could just hear them on the radio. Oh yeah, things are dropping out of the sky. An airplane just dropped. It's like, this is so weird. And then the next day, it was still sitting there. The next day, it was still sitting there. Nobody was cleaning it up. Like it literally fell out of the sky, and nobody knew what to do with it. It was like so strange. It keeps being the strangest things. I swear to God. But it's because we're in the Truman Show. This is an illusion. This isn't real. You're real, but all the rest of it isn't real. So anyways, I will get back to you as soon as I can. And then after the camping thing, well, I don't know. Things keep coming up. I can't make promises anymore. No, I don't know. Because there is more things that keep coming up. There's more trips and stuff. Like it just keeps, like this energy is just going now. It's just, I hope it doesn't stop. I hope it doesn't all of a sudden just go back and then it's winter and then it's back to lockdown and just sit there. Unless, well, I mean, if somebody else was there too, that would be a big difference. Like that wouldn't be bad to be locked down with somebody who you wanted to be locked down with for a long time, and then you finally got to be locked down with them. That would be good. So maybe that would be the perfect winter. I don't know. Anyways, just keep working on yourself. I don't know all of the shit going on. Every time I go and look, it just seems like people just keep talking about the same shit. And there's some weird thing will happen and it just freaks everybody out. And then everybody will just keep talking about that and talking about that. It's like, whew. All I can say is just wake up. It's all an illusion. It's all a game. And it's all for your spiritual growth. It's all for you to grow, to expand. So anyways, I just work on that. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.